Hello there, it's Rebel Black here from Bowerbirds, and this is an exercise to identify your core values. Now, this exercise can be done as an individual or it can also be done as an exercise with a group of people coming together to identify what their core values are. I highly recommend that if you are doing this as a group of people, that you first do it as individuals, identifying what your core values are, and then you bring those core values that you have each identified individually together and you discuss the common ones, and then you decide upon then collective values that all of you are going to embody and move forward with. It may be a combination of a few that are in common, or it may be that there are some new values that might represent the collective values that you've all identified. So you would still come back to this primary list. So I've shared with you a list of core values. There's quite a few there, and there's possibly some that aren't there that you think might be. But if you go searching on the internet for values, you get such a variety of, what those values actually are that I've spent quite a bit of time over the years refining and honing. And these are the ones that I feel are kind of really reflective and that you'll be able to find value with. So how do you work out your core values? Well, essentially the list is designed to, give you something to start with. It avoids the white page dilemma. But essentially we want to put aside some time. I'm saying 30 minutes in this document. If you've got that time, please use it to its fullest extent. If you haven't got quite that long, 10 minutes for a self-reflection will be plenty for you to get to some baseline of your core values. You're going to take yourself through a process, and I'm going to outline that to come up with your top 5 to 10. 10's probably too many, but 5 to 7 is probably a better number that you can use as a rudder for all of your life's or enterprise planning. The same will be true if you're working as a group. Individually come up with your top 5 to 7, and then as a group you're going to come up with your top 5 to 7, which, as I said, could be a combo of a few that individuals have brought together, or upon reflection you might choose some new ones from the list. It's one thing to know your values, but it's an entirely different thing to live them. So I've also included a document that we're going to discuss about how you hold yourself accountable to the embodiment and the living of those values. So in your 30 minutes or whatever time it is that you've got, you're going to be really clear that the goal is to get the 5 to 10 values, and then spend some time looking at those and reviewing the words. So really look at the list, skim it. Notice what words you're most drawn to. Notice which ones create a sensation, a positive sensation in your body. Pay close attention to the feelings that you're experiencing when you read those words, and notice the ones that really jump out at you, the ones that are most activated. First process might be to write down all the ones that really inspire or activate you. There might be more than 10 at this stage, and that's okay. The next thing you're going to do is take those words that you've identified in your initial brainstorm. Maybe that was only 1 or 2 minutes of time. Then you're going to review them through the lenses of, the first is the etymology. Really dive in to where does that word come from and what does it mean? So you're going to look at the etymology, which is where the original word came from, and you're going to look at the dictionary to find the meaning, including any synonyms or antonyms. That is the other words that could also mean the similar things. The purpose of this part of the exercise is to deepen your understanding of the words and understanding the nuances, but also your resonance with the word. Do you actually align with it? And maybe then this is going to enable you to bring it down to a smaller list. If you want to skip this step, that is absolutely fine if you haven't got the time. But I highly recommend it when you do have the time to come back to it. Then you're going to review each of the values that you've chosen against some of the questions below. You don't have to do them all, but the purpose is to just see whether the value really matches with your life experience, because we really want to make sure that our values reflect either our life as it is or the life as we desire it to be. So you want to think of the most meaningful moments in your life. Think of the moments that you felt most satisfied. Pay attention to what stories really inspire you. What makes you angry? Imagine your ideal environment. Review your accomplishments and what you're most proud of. And who is the person you really value and admire, and what behavior or value that they have do you observe in them? So, you want to look at your list and you want to think, in that most meaningful moment in my life, which of those values that I've identified was at play? Which one was I using? If I'm living in my ideal environment or I'm living my best life, which of those values are actually being embodied? Which ones am I practicing? Where am I doing these things, not just saying that they're a nice thing to have? And the final step is to take the values list and put it somewhere you can see it, that you're going to review it regularly as a check-in to make sure that you're living in alignment. It's also a really helpful decision-making tool. When we've got difficult decisions or complex decisions to make, it's really important that we know what our values are, because those values are going to really help us make good decisions that are aligned with who we are. If you're working together as a team, of course, you're going to get your top 5 or 10, and you're going to have this conversation with the other people in your team or family or group that you're gathering together with. Now, it seems like a complex process, but once you get into it, you'll really start to identify the values where you are truly aligned and those where you might be just, it's a nice to have. And that's what we're really wanting to get you to. And then the final step that I really encourage you to do is put the value in the template or the table here. Identify your value and then write for yourself a little note of how you'll know you're living it. So, for example, if we choose the value of kindness, for example. So I would put kindness in this table on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, how will I know I'm living it? Well, I will be displaying kindness to others. I would be showing myself kindness. Other people would be telling me how kind I am. I would be feeling good when I am being kind to others or to myself, when I am acting from a place of kindness, so where I'm going out of my way to show love or support or kindness to somebody. So you want to identify maybe even specific things if you're wanting to hone a particular practice and get better at a particular practice, of specifics of how. So kind act might be that you're smiling and saying hello to everybody as you walk past them on the street, for example, or where you are wishing everybody a happy birthday as it shows up in your social media feed, or that you are doing one act of kindness, one deliberate act of kindness to somebody in your life every day, and you're tracking that. So it's how we are living these values. How we know that we are living these values is through the actions that we're taking, the feelings that we're having, the behaviors we're demonstrating. So that's just another way of being able to hold yourself accountable. The very minimum that you would do in this activity to get your core values is choose 5 to 7, ideally, maybe up to 10 from this list of those that really resonate with you, that feel right. And then it's up to you how much further you want to interrogate or dig deeper into those values and the living of those values. I hope this has been helpful and that you enjoy the process of getting to know yourself even better through the lens of values. May your bower be blessed.